Good morning everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm proud to give you all a walk around and tour of this 2021 Dodge Durango GT Blacktop. The GT introduces us to the sporty trim level that the Durango does come with from Dodge. And as you can tell, it sort of looks like a mini SRT or a mini RT model, except this one has the Pentastar V6 under the hood, of which we'll discuss that in just a little bit. This vehicle also does come with the Blacktop package, which does give you a couple of nice accents to kind of top things off with the GT package and makes it look a little bit more, in a way, sinister. So as you can see, you do have the blacked out wheels, blacked out mirror covers, as well as blacked out badges in the back. With that being said, a huge thank you to Bob Thomas Pre-Owned, which is about the Thomas Auto Group here in McKinney, Texas, for giving me some time with this one today. And so, without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get started. This vehicle does come with a couple of things here on the key fob, which includes your unlock, your lock, your trunk release, your panic button, and remote start. To remote start the vehicle, just make sure you have the vehicle locked and double click the remote start button, and it will turn right on. And then when you're done, double click it again, and it will shut right off. Coming over to the front, as you can see, you do have a pretty nice and unique grille, which is dedicated to the Durango. It has a Dodge moniker to the bottom right, as you can see. You also do have LED daytime running lights with LED headlamps, as well as LED fog lamps. The Durango, as you're looking at it here, did get a refresh for this model year, and it still continues today. As you can see, we're taking a look at a set of Advanta tires on 20-inch wheels. These are 265 50R20s all the way around. Come up to the door handle. This vehicle does come standard with a smart key access system, allowing you to get inside and outside of the vehicle quite easily. As long as you have that key fob in your pocket, come up to the door handle. There's a touch sensor behind here. Put your hand in, and the vehicle will indicate unlocking for you to jump on in. And after waiting a few seconds, if you want to lock the vehicle, tap this button here, and the vehicle will indicate locking. The exterior color of this one is finished off in Destroyer Gray Tintcoat, with the black leather interior with alcantara / suede accenting. Coming over to the door panel here, you are going to have some hard touch plastic material as expected, and it doesn't look all that bad. However, you do have some of this very nice soft leather material here with some leather stitching on the panel here, which looks nice. You also have an aluminum door handle, 2-person memory seating, controls for your mirrors, which mirror you're going to adjust, automatic windows, as well as your unlock and lock switches there. Your child lock button is right here, and your 2 front windows are fully automatic. You also have a decent area here for some storage, as well as an area where you can store a small cup. You also have your Dodge moniker right there for the door sill, which looks nice. To start the vehicle, just simply have the key fob on you, whether that's in your pocket or within the vehicle itself. Put your foot on the brake and hit the button to go. Very nice. This vehicle here does come standard with a fully leather wrapped rack and pinion power steering wheel. You have controls here as well on the left and right sides for your paddle shifters. And then actually on the steering wheel, you do have controls for things such as your main menu switches, your Bluetooth and hands-free telephone buttons here. And to the right is going to be for your cruise control. These blank switches here is going to be if you go for the safety group, which does include your adaptive cruise control, lane departure, and lane keeping assist. This vehicle does have a 7-inch digital display in the middle, and you have 2 other gauges. To your left is going to be your tachometer, and to the far right, you're going to have things such as your coolant temperature and fuel range. In the middle, as you can see, like I mentioned, it's a 7-inch digital display, which includes things such as your miles to empty, current time. You're going to have your information display as far as what is on the left over here, and then your gear selector to your right. Going through, as we push this little menu switch here on the steering wheel, we'll be able to cycle through a couple of different things. It's going to show you things such as your current speed, vehicle information, which is nice, and that's going to give you a lot of good things such as your oil life, battery voltage, tire pressure, coolant temperature, transmission temperature, oil temperature, oil pressure, and then we're back to oil life. As you can see, you do have your fuel economy information, such as your range to empty, average fuel economy, and current MPGs. And then this is going to be your average MPG overall. Trim information for this case, I believe this is trip A. As you can see, average fuel economy, as well as elapsed time. And this is trip B. And then, of course, this is going to be your stop-start system, of course. This is going to be whether you come to a stoplight, the vehicle will shut right off. And, of course, it's not going to work because the driver, in this case myself, is unbuckled, and I'm not going to be driving this vehicle. But just for safety purposes, it does say stop-start not ready, driver's seatbelt unbuckled, as you can see there. Audio source, messages, screen setup, and then back to your current speed. Pretty nice. Coming over here, one of the big changes for 2021 with the Durango is that it goes from a 8.4-inch display to this new 10.1-inch display with now Uconnect 5 integrated into the system. And what that is basically you're going to be getting a much more modern look of the infotainment system here. It does look really nice. You're going to have all your different submenus down here. As you can see, we're going to look at things such as your current time on top. You're going to have your information here for things such as your heated seats, heated steering wheel, profile, notifications, exterior temperature, microphone, and you are also going to have access to the rear heated seat, so maybe not the rear heated seat, but the heated seat for the front passenger, which is pretty cool. As you can see, we're taking a look at the media portion. It's showing what's playing on the radio as well as what source, and of course your radio banner here, which is pretty cool. You also do have your preset stations here, which, as you can see, you have 6 presets, and then coming down here is going to be, like I said, your different submenus. So starting off at home, as you can see here, when we're taking a look at a split screen setup here, you're going to have navigation on one side, you're going to have your audio right here, and then your phone is going to be right down there. So with that said, you can even customize it using this right here called My Pages. As you can see, media is just what we were looking at a second ago. Come into comfort, you can adjust here your heated seats, your climate control information and all that stuff. You can do that through there. Coming over to navigation, as you can see, it's very nice. As you can see, it's much more detailed. It does look really, really good. The pinch to zoom of it is also pretty good as well, and the quality is pretty nice. As you can see, you're also going to have a couple different submenus here for the map, 3D navigation, any notification, or excuse me, any volume. This is going to be for your voice activated part of the navigation system, and then this here is going to be for your main menu. So you can go to things such as search, at home, at work, recent destinations, favorite destinations, trips, maps, as well as different settings. And then of course you can search for destinations up here. Coming to vehicle, as you can see, what's really cool about this is that you can fold down the headrest in the third row for visibility purposes, and then you do have that rear view camera which you can view right here, which, as you can see, looks pretty nice. The quality is a little grainy, I would say, but it's not too bad overall. Coming over here to settings, You're going to have things such as display, which is going to show you different settings for the display. You can set a theme if you want to. Touchscreen beep, show main category bar labels, navigation turn by turn, display and cluster, phone pop-ups. Of course, you can set up a profile in here, themes and all that. That's kind of the same thing, although you have a little bit more stuff in here. Command list, app drawers, favoring and unfavoring pop-ups, new text messages, key off, show command list, time format, voice options, missed calls, navigation settings, auto on, driver heated seat and steering wheel, audio settings, and all that stuff here, which is pretty cool. Coming down here to safety and driving assistance, you're going to have your park sense, which is going to be your parking sensors. Very nice to have. Electronic power steering, paddle shifters, hill start assist as well, which is pretty nice. Like I said, if you go for the safety package, you will get things like your your adaptive cruise, lane departure, lane keeping. You will also get blind spot monitoring, which this vehicle actually does come with standard, so that's pretty cool. And then clock and date, you'll be able to set the clock via, as you can see here, 12 or 24 hours. You can set the time and you can set the date as well. You're gonna have things such as phone and Bluetooth, as you can see here. You can control your devices, enable 2 active phones and all that stuff. Coming down to voice, of course, you can go through your voice options here, navigation options here, as you can see, which is nice. And then camera looks, as you can see here, has part view backup camera delay as well as part view backup camera active guidelines. And then you have more options here, such as mirrors and wipers. As you can see, you can control and adjust the lights, adjust the door locks and all that stuff, the door as well as the locking functions and all that there. Seats and comfort, also pretty self-explanatory here, as you can see, easy exit seats. With that said, pretty self-explanatory there. Key off options here, you can adjust the key off power delay or headlight off delay. You have audio, as you can see, you can go to audio settings here. You have balance, fade, equalizer, speed adjustment, volume, so you can adjust the sound based on how you like it in the vehicle, which is pretty nice. Different notifications, Sirius XM setup, software updates here, as you can see, latest software information, system information, as you can see, as well as a reset button. So with that said, we're gonna go all the way back up to the display here, and then we'll continue into apps. As you can see, you're going to have different apps here, such as, in this case, Bluetooth, Alexa, and Device Manager, recents, categories. You have different categories here for media, comfort, nav, phone, vehicle, as you can see there, backup camera, audio settings, vehicle settings, and all that we just went through. The system, of course, you're going to have your assist here for roadside assistance, driver profiles, Wi-Fi hotspots, software updates, and then other things such as your Alexa app, SOS. And let's just take a look at the current forecast here. As you can see here, it's going to take some time to pull up, but when it does pull up, it's going to give you your current forecast information and all of that stuff, which is pretty cool. So that to me is pretty nice to see. But anyways, going back to apps here, and that is pretty much it there. And then come over to phone. This is, of course, where you can pair your phone and device and everything. And of course, you can add a device, or you can put do not disturb and all that stuff. But with that being said, that's pretty much a basic rundown of the 10.1-inch Uconnect 5 infotainment system in the Dodge Durango GT Blacktop. Coming down here, you do have your dual zone climate controls, which you can control from the screen up there. You have heated seats, you have your heated steering wheel, you're going to have your fan, which I'm probably going to touch that up just a little bit, since it is starting to get a little warm in here. Not too bad. As you can see, you do have different modes of where you want the AC to go, which is basically your fan positioning, front and rear defrost. Of course, you do have tune knob here, volume knob here, and then these are going to be controls you can turn on or off. Auto stop start you can turn on or off, sport mode you can turn on or off, and if we do turn this on, it's going to show it right there on the screen. Sport mode is on. or you can turn it off. Eco mode, obviously is going to make you drive more efficiently. Hazard button here, traction control, parking sensors, and that's pretty much it there. You have 2 USB-C ports as well as 2 regular USB ports, as well as an aux port there. A storage area where you can put a phone to charge, to put an area where you can put your phone to charge, as you can see there. You have 2 cup holders here. You do have a 8-speed automatic transmission. And when you put it into reverse, like I mentioned, that backup camera is right there. It's not too bad. Coming over here to the glove compartment. Decent amount of storage space in here, not too bad. Pretty impressive. The seats also look really nice. You have that combination of leather as well as suede / alcantara. It does feel very, very good on the hands, and the quality of the seats are quite nice. Now, with that being said, as you can see here, 3 garage home link here. You do have controls for your lights. You do have your sunglass holder there. You do have a visor. You can see there. And so, with that said, just a few other things to the left, actually. Controls for your headlights, gauge dimmer switches here, and everything else is going to be at the bottom there. But overall, just taking a look at the Durango here, as you can see, it's a very nice, well-equipped vehicle for what it is. And although this is not like an RT, you know, with the V8, this is not too bad overall. So with that said, let's go ahead and check out the rest of the Dodge Durango GT Blacktop. This, of course, represents a 3-row SUV. So as you can see, the 3rd row is back there. But coming into the 2nd row of the Dodge Durango, as you can see, the materials do carry throughout here. They do look and feel very nice on the hands. As you can see, this is a captain's chair setup, which makes it easier to get into the 3rd row, except you can't do it from here. You're gonna have to do it from here, and that's because right over there are going to be a set of 2 cup holders on the ground, as you can see. You do have 2 nets here where you can put some stuff. You do have rear ventilation. You have rear heated seats, USB ports, 150-volt outlet here, as you can see. And then controls for air conditioning and all that are going to be right up here. Does have a capless fuel filler, as well as an illustration of how to use the capless fuel filler, or in this case, how to put gas in the vehicle if you're using a traditional gas tank. The Durango does come with LED taillights, and this one entire strip right here does light up, which is really cool. You have your Durango badge right here blacked out. Same thing for the GT badge. And your Dodge logo right up there, front and center. Does have an automatic liftgate. As you can see, coming into the cargo area of the Dodge Durango, it's pretty nice in here as far as how much space you get initially. Now, you're looking at about 17.2 cubic feet of space, which is not too bad, but you can fold the seats down, as you can see here. And they do fold flat. And this now increases cargo space to 43.2 cubic feet of space. If you do fold down these 2nd rows here, you'll be increasing cargo space to a maximum of 85.1 cubic feet of space, which is pretty good. Now, as we take a look here with the space down, if these were to theoretically be up, you do have a few things in the back of the 3rd row, mostly in the form of cup holders on both sides, and that's pretty much about it here. But you do also have a 12-volt little outlet here, a little hook you could probably put some small items on, And that's pretty much it there. You have some storage space here. As you can see here, you have even more storage space underneath, which is pretty nice. This Destroyer Gray color looks amazing in the sunlight. It really does. It's very, very cool. Under the hood of the Dodge Durango GT, we're taking a look at a 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 made to an 8-speed automatic transmission. It produces 295 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque. Alright guys, so with that being said, let's go ahead now and let's check out the window sticker for this vehicle, of which I was able to actually print off and bring along with me. Here it is. This is again, 2021. We want to make sure you guys get a chance to see it here. 2021 Dodge Durango GT Blacktop rear-wheel drive. Zoom in the camera a little bit so you guys can probably see it better. There you go. Finished off in Destroyer Gray clear coat exterior. Now we come down to optional equipment. This vehicle does have the customer preferred package 2BE. That's for $4,000, and it includes things such as the leather suede bucket seats, the power liftgate, the heated second row seats, heated front seats, the sun visors with illuminated vanity mirrors, tungsten accent stitching, and more. The blacktop package does come with the 20 by 8 inch black noise aluminum wheels, gloss back badges, as well as exterior mirrors for $1,295. The second row fold and tumble captain's chairs for $1,275, as well as Uconnect 5 with 10.1 inch display for $995, which does include your 4G LTE Wi-Fi hotspot, Sirius XM with 360L, as well as GPS navigation. With a destination charge of $1,495, the total MSRP when this vehicle was brand new back in 2021 was $46,932. Fuel economy for this vehicle is also quite decent, coming in at 19 city, 26 highway, and 21 combined. And overall, this vehicle does get a rating of 4 out of 5 stars from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Overall, I have to say the Dodge Durango is still an impressive vehicle and really an underrated SUV. Now, in most cases, you can classify this as a 3-row muscle car. And while it is nice to see that Durango is still a pretty relevant vehicle, it is likely going to be the last. 2025 will likely be the last year that the Durango is out. And while that is sad to see it go, at least I got a chance to check one of these out. And as you can tell, it's pretty cool to see. So with that said, guys, that's going to do it here for this walk around and tour of this 2021 Dodge Durango GT Blacktop, finished off here in Destroyer Gray clear coat with the black leather interior with suede accenting. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.